What is up, YouTube? Your boy Mike Fulahope here. Last time you saw me, I had on, the nice afro and everything, but I had to cut it off, man. I'm sorry. But as you can see, my hair's going back pretty fast, so, can't wait for the good old fluff ball to come back, and I'm sporting my Jim Kelly, you know what I mean? Okay. So, right now, making this video for y'all, a lot of people talk about politics, and the average person, it's like, to them, it's really complex. It's just like science. It's like politicians have a different language with aliens and Albert Einstein's left brain. I don't know. Left. What? Yeah, they got y'all thinking like they talking in future Armageddon, Namekian language terms. I don't know. Like what? The human civilization has advanced technologically, physically, mentally, and more importantly, with their tongues. What? That's okay though. That's okay. I'm finna break it down for y'all. With muscle.
What is he talking about?
No, but they use these big old terms and words. The case in point right there. Terms, somebody else would have said terminology. You would have been like, what is that? No, but they use big terms and words that, people in average day life might not necessarily know. And that's not a bad thing. That's you got, you know what I'm saying? You got other stuff to worry about. You think about your family. You think about how you're going to put food on the table for your kids and children at night and stuff like that. And all you got is a few minutes, maybe an hour of television, every day. And these people, I don't know what that was. These people, they do this every day, and the way they talk, those big vocabulary words that they use is just implications of their work. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try my best to dumb these words down, and try to get y'all to understand them, as they speak in some different tongue. Actually, that's why I have on what I got on right now, because I got this like regular shirt, average person would wear, and got a watch, like a politician. So I'm the crossroads between average person, politician. Kind of like what Jesus said, If this Negro said another unfunny joke. Politics is not as complex as it seems. So we about to get some vocabulary on and stick our foot right up the politics. What I got here is some vocabulary words. Somebody walking by, I don't know who it is. Some vocabulary words, I'm gonna break them down to you and dumb it down as much as possible, you know what I'm saying? So these politicians can stop tricking y'all with these big ass words. Excuse my language, mom and dad. Oops, sorry. Big words. So I'm gonna dumb them down as much as possible. It's about like 20 to 30 words. We're gonna knock them out together. So first term that they use a lot is affirmative action. Now what that is simple and plain as it possibly can be. It's just the push for less discrimination for minorities in schooling, business, labor, whatever you want to call it. Just less discrimination. That's what affirmative action is. That's what you should know right there. Second word, amendment. That's a bill or a law change. Okay, you're changing something. That's an amendment. You're changing a law or changing a bill. And a bill itself is the proposal for a law. So it's a connection right there. A bill, proposal for a law. Okay? The Bill of Rights, what they used to use in history class that nobody listened to, yeah, that is the first 10 amendments in the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, which we all live by and stuff, whatever. And it was made, the Bill of Rights was made specifically in 1789, ratified or changed, another big word they throw around, it was changed in 1791. So, 1789, did I say 1865? Yeah, 1789 was when the Bill of Rights was made. 1791 is when it was ratified, alright? Next word is one word I have had trouble with my whole entire life until I came up here to college, okay? And it just, the level of frustration behind this word, they throw it around like it's just the coolest word in the world. Bureaucracy? Please don't tell me that means government. The system are governing our everyday lives, and you hear freaking politicians, the president himself. American people want a stable bureaucracy. What? You mean government, my dude? A government. A simple old government. All that big old fancy word, and it just means government. Cabinet. That's our next vocabulary word. That is also something they like to throw around in your face like it's the biggest, most, I don't know. A cabinet is a government department for policy. That's a department in the government. It's as simple as that. A caucus. Now, that sounds like something, it sounds like it should be complicated. It sounds like something I don't know, something you find in a tomb or some kind of funeral. A caucus is a state meeting where the political delegates vote for candidates to have their place in office. So these political candidates get together and they vote for other candidates to be in office. That's what a caucus is. It's a meeting. It's just simple. A big word, confusing word for nothing. Checks and balances. They throw that around in your face a lot. Checks and balances is just basically means each branch of government, which is three: the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the supreme branch, the Supreme Court. Judicial branch. I'm sorry. Basically, they can restrain each other, so one branch won't get too powerful. Okay, that's what checks and balances is. It's basically the same thing as the separation of powers. They have each branch of government has a different set of powers, and so one branch doesn't get too big and powerful and take over our country. They have restrictions that they place upon each other's branches. What's next? Civil liberties. What is that? Constitutional freedoms guaranteed to all citizens. That's just what is our rights. Civil liberties. They throw that in your freaking face. Oh, wow. Why couldn't you just say rights? Why couldn't you? I don't know. A deficit, in other words, those big fancy politicians like to use. We have to stop the deficits. It just means government spending exceeds revenue. Government, and those who don't know revenue, they throw that word around. Revenue is just the income that person gets. So government spending exceeds our national income. That's what the deficit is. Now these two are a little bit more confusing, these next two. You have the electorate, and the electoral college. Now, actually, did I say those were confusing? They're not. The electorate is just us. We're the people that vote. The electorate is the people that are qualified to vote, which is everybody in this country. You know what I mean? So, what is the electoral college? Wow. What do you think? I don't know. Do you know? Well, apparently this is way more complicated than it has to be, too. Just my hunch about it. It's the group of representatives that we vote for. So, actually, do we know who those people are? We actually don't know who the electoral college is. You know why? Because it's kind of schemish. You know what I mean? So basically, these are presidential electors who cast votes after we vote. So, does that make any sense? So are we voting directly on the issues? Because I thought that's what I was doing. I never voted, but that's what I thought my mother and father were doing. Well, apparently after they vote, somebody else votes again. So I don't know. That's what the electoral college is. The behind-the-scene voters. That's why a president can get the popular vote, but still lose, which doesn't make any sense. So what does that mean? Somebody else's vote holds more power than ours? I don't know. Forget it. Next word. Filibuster. Now, this sounds like something that you find out, like what, Chuck E. Cheese's or what? This sounds like some kind of video game. I don't know. But a filibuster is basically a lengthy speech or delay tactics designed to kill a vote or a bill, vote on a bill. So basically, if one party doesn't want, whether it's a Republican or a Democratic Party, if they don't want a bill to pass, what do? They delay. They stall as much as possible. That's what a filibuster is. They're filibustering. They're stalling. Why couldn't you just say they're stalling instead of they're filibustering? I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm just an American who lives in this democracy. Federalism, another term. That's so simple. Like, they make that word, they put that word in your face when they could just say it's what our government is. It means we have a national federal government and a state government. We have two different types of governments within our big national government. So it's that simple. I mean, that's the system we live in. They couldn't just say that. I mean, we have the national and state governments would make this big old government. They can just put it like that. I mean, I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot them. Fiscal policy or fiscal cliff. These are interesting right here. Fiscal policy. What do you think that means? They're talking about money, right? Well, you're right, because they are talking about money. Fiscal policy is just the policy on taxation and on spending. A fiscal cliff, what is that? It sounds, fiscal, what is fiscal? Sounds like some kind of, I don't know, some rare car or disease. I don't know, got the fiscal disease, whatever. A fiscal cliff is basically, we're about to fall off that money cliff. No, it's when our economy is threatened to decline. You know, a certain situation financially threatens our economy, and that's what the fiscal cliff is. We're about to fall over the fiscal cliff. Money cliff, that's how I'm gonna remember it. I don't know about y'all. They want to say fiscal cliff, let them be complicated. Gatekeepers. They're media executives, news editors, or reporters who decide what the news is about, or what to put on the news, rather. So basically, what I got from all of that when I read that was the exact definition. When I decipher from all that, they're the paparazzi. They give us our media. They decide what we look at on television. Why couldn't they say that? I don't know. Don't ask me. Another one. Gerrymandering. Now, anybody from DC, shout out to the DMV, because it's my hometown, DC, Maryland, Virginia. We out here. All right. Shout out to the DMV. Anybody from DC should know what gerrymandering is. That is basically when they basically draw out the districts. And it's part of the reason why DC is not a state right now, because it holds voting power. You know what I'm saying? DC is majority African American. Historically, after the 1930s, African Americans tended to vote more liberal. So Republicans do not want DC becoming a state, because it will have, or DC to join a state for that matter, because it will have political power. Okay, and that could sway, that really could sway an election, you know what I mean? So what they do, the people in DC, they still have to pay taxes, but they cannot vote in DC. They have to go to the suburbs, or somewhere else, I don't know, a different state, and vote. What was I gonna say on that? Oh yeah, that usually kind of, discourages them from voting, so they don't really go out and vote. So the people there don't really have much of a say, but hey, who knew? Ideology. Wow. What do you know? The definition's in the word. It's an idea. It's the beliefs. What we believe. Ideology. Oh, throw that in your face. Another big word, complicated for no reason. But that's just impeachment. That means whoever the president is, or whoever in office, you's about to get up on out of there. You about to get your butt kicked out. An impeachment is basically when the House of Representatives brings charges up against a government official. So, bye-bye, Andrew Jackson and Bill Clinton. Referendum. Big word. It's gotta be hard, right? Referendum. Direct voting by citizens. That's literally us voting. And while I'm on direct voting by citizens, isn't that what that's what we were under pressure. We're voting. That's speaking of that, popular sovereignty. I'm messing up my words right here. That is when people hold all governmental power, which is what I thought we were doing since we're in this thing called a democracy. But maybe I don't know. Maybe that's not what we're doing. Split ticket voting. Another simple thing. I mean, like, they throw it around like it's so complex. It just means a candidate is voting in the same election for more than one different political party. Excuse me. Going up again. Trustees. You shouldn't trust them so much because they're basically the officials that we elected, the representatives that we elected with our vote, who end up voting based on their own opinion. So, does that kind of defeat, the purpose of us electing them to vote for us? Now they're voting for this. Indictment. I almost forgot about that. We should all know what indictment is. Indictment is charges brought up against you. So, I mean, it's just that simple. When you're getting indicted, you probably should run or, get a lawyer. Now it's time for our honorable mention words. Yay! Do the honorable mention. Do the mention. So, the first honorable mention word, suffrage. Now, what could suffrage actually be? Oh, I don't know. Isn't that when you suffer for something? It sounds like. No, my brother. It's your vote. That's what suffrage is, a vote. Yep. Just that simple. It's just a vote. When they say universal suffrage, universal voting. Next word, ratification. Now that's a big word, but the word, what it means is actually in the word ratification, to ratify. Just changes to something. When they say there's been ratification to a bill, there's changes to a bill. A pardon is our next word. A pardon means we're freeing whoever was convicted of a crime of their punishment. So some people, I don't know any specific people that have been pardoned in the past because I don't know anybody who's committed crimes in the past. I think I don't know, but a pardon is that person, they may have committed murder. Well, they don't have to go to jail for it anymore. Now our last two honorable mentions go together, okay? We have Plessy versus Ferguson and Brown versus the Board of Education. Now, you probably are familiar with these. They get thrown around all the time. They talked about it in our history class, and if you're anything like me, you didn't listen. You're probably looking at the clock waiting for lunch. I know I was thinking about that cheeseburger. But anyway, Plessy versus Ferguson was the Supreme Court upholding separation but equal. Separate but equal. You heard that before in quotations, looked at it, seen it, you blah, blah, blah. Well, in Brown versus Board, 50 years later, Plessy versus Ferguson was in 1896, Brown versus Board of Education case in 1954, they basically realized that they were wrong. Wow, we can't just separate a certain race from different schools. That would be discrimination. I guess we were wrong back in the day. I don't know. Well, they decided that was wrong and declared separate but equal unconstitutional. So there we go. Hope y'all enjoy, people. So comment, share, like, I don't know, vote for me to get an Oscar. Not to toot my own horn. No. But if you guys tell me about it. Give me some suggestions. I know I didn't touch on everything that these politicians are using, not all their tactics, but we'll get through this struggle together. Okay? Mike Fulahope out. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.